and then we will continue. Well, better still, we'll take it a notch higher, like I would always say. And I have another lawyer joining me for this conversation. But for those of you joining in right now, I am Khaled Akorubatibor. This is Hard Facts on 92.3 Nigeria Info. And it's always my pleasure having you on the other side of the radio. Always a great thing having you listening and eagerly waiting to air your views on issues on the review. All right, welcome. Remember, you can watch us live on Facebook, Nigeria Info PH. You can watch us live on YouTube, Nigeria Info PH. We're active and interactive on X, Nigeria Info PH. Or better still, you can follow me on my personal social media account, D Kalada. Once again, welcome. So, what do I want to talk about today? So, this week makes it about a month since we closed down. When I say we, I mean the state government is of the people, by the people, and for the people, right? So we closed down the secretariats of the 23 local governments in Rivers State. And if you remember the background of the story, I mean, it still has to do with all the political brouhaha in Rivers State. But if you look at the background, it is, Martin Ameule led, and we're back to that faction again. Anyways, factionalization of the House of Assembly. So the Martin Ameule led House of Assembly said or did promulgate a law that there should be an extension of the tenure of local government chairmen. Some people have gone to court, and I think Justice Kill says that is unconstitutional. Anyways, that's not the point. However, the governor was not having it. The governor is not recognizing the Martin Ameule side of the House of Assembly, so he refuses to implement it. And, it then goes to, is it Victor Okojumbo's led assembly, right? And then there is then the CTC for local government. I no go agree, both sides were chanting. And, the police decided to step in, and the police said they were going to shut it down until the appellate court gives its ruling as it relates to the High Court's ruling on the extension of the administration of the local government chairman. Now, that is the situation we find ourselves in. But if you know what the Constitution says about local governments, you would know that certain key processes are being handled by the local government. For instance, building permits. For instance, marriage certification. The lawyer will correct me anyone I get wrong, but there's certain little things that, the running of the market, the very little things that the local government administration handles that makes it very easy for people at the local government level to go about their daily living. For instance, immunization and other drug administration, all of that has stalled because of the closure of the local government administration. So we want to look into it. We want to see if there's going to be a political solution to this matter, or if there is a legal solution aside what is in court. If we can see somehow if we can come up with a negotiation where both parties can say, okay, you know what, we will hold on for now. This can happen, this can work until the court determines, so that the local government administrations can function. So on the note, I want to welcome Chioma Choko, who is a lawyer and a social political commentator, and he is my guest on the show. Welcome. It's good to have you.
Thank you, my dear brother Kalada. It's a pleasure to be here this evening once more.
It's been a while you've been on the show, so let me sample your opinion, your thoughts. What is it that you think as it relates to the current local government situation as a legal professional? What is your take on it?
Well, I think before I would give my take on it, it's important some of us appreciate what actually has led to this political brouhaha.
Okay.
What has brought local government council, where they are today.
Okay.
If I could be allowed to make a rundown of it for some of us who may not be aware, I think it has to do with some few months ago when some persons had attempted to carry out an impeachment on the governor of Rivers State, which was actually precluded or forestalled by virtue of also the effort of other assembly members that had come out to say no, there was no need for that impeachment and all that. And all that, the trajectory or the story came down to where a lot of litigations went to courts, either before or after the defection of 27 assembly members or former assembly members, as some of us have chosen to call them, given the provisions of the law or the mandate of the law, because it's not by our making that we've elected to use some of these dictions as regards to these persons. It is there explicitly provided. So it's not my making. Now, that was actually what led to the closure of the local government, when some persons said, yes, because there were pending suits in Court of Appeal, there were pending suits in Federal High Court, there were pending suits at the State High Court, and then all of these aggregated together, that they were going to wait for the final determination of the courts before leaving their offices, as it were. And if we look at it very well, the reason for which the police took over the local government council, I understand some persons are of the view that yes, the reason they came up to occupy this local government council was simply because there was a power at the apex level that has directed that this local government council should be closed. But in my thinking, and by personal interaction today with some high-level police officers, I do not think that is actually the true position. I think that the police came in to preclude what would have ordinarily turned out to be a bloodshed in Rivers State. You recall that close to the period of the expiration of the tenure of some local government chairmen, the likes of Honorable Dr. Samuel Wanosike and some other local government chairmen like the Kana, and then a lot of others, apart from some who were very calm too, who understood the position of the law when it has to do with tenure extension. These persons had come out to say, oh, because there was a legislation which was tentatively made by Orsted, the then assembly members, or the 27 House of Assembly members, which some of us perceive that in the eyes of the law are no longer assembly members. And to that effect, that the law elongated the tenure of the local government chairman to, I think, about 6 months thereabout. And then that there was a pending suit at the Court of Appeal, which from their belief would have breathed life into the legislation of that State House of Assembly. And then which would have ordinarily made them to stay beyond their period of 3 years in office. And then by virtue of the last week pronouncement of the Court of Appeal, all of us were able to understand that that judgment, as it were, had nothing to do with the tenure elongation. And some of us too, who understand or who had followed up carefully and clinically the trajectory of what is happening in the local government and Rivers State, as it were, also understand that there is also a court judgment, which I feel in my little wisdom, that court judgment has not been challenged, given by, I think, one of the justices of one of the High Court judges in Rivers State, which said that the elongation, the tenure elongation of the 27 House of Assembly members, are you with me, sir?
Justice Q, you're talking about the local government.
Yes,
yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Expunged, deleted, cancelled that elongation provision made by the State House of Assembly. So it appropriated, it removed it from existence.
Okay.
So that, I also think that
Choko, Chioma, let me pause you now. Now, looking at that judgment, yes. They have some reports and comments that that judgment has been appealed. My next question will be, if indeed there is an appeal, does it give room for the ex-local government chairman to remain in office? I'm just asking because the police remember the police said that they are waiting for the appellate court to give a judgment so that they can vacate the various secretaries.
That's a very beautiful question. The mere fact that an appeal has been entered in the Court of Appeal does not make it a stay of execution, assuming it has to do with a judgment or an order of the court that is executory. It does not in any way. And what it means is that if you look at it, for instance, a lot of persons have come out to give the meaning of status quo ante bellum. The court has said, return back to the position that was in existence before the hostility. Return back to the position that was in existence before the crisis began. Return back to the position that was in existence before advancing the court. Now, the question would ordinarily be, what was the position before coming to court? If we look at logically, I'm not speaking, I'm not holding brief for any of the parties, but the obvious is that if you look at the first judgment, the first appeal that was entered or made by Martin Samuel's led House of Assembly, factional House of Assembly members in Rivers State, if you look at it very well, it came after Right Honorable Okojombo had advanced the court. It was Okojombo that was on the seat as the Speaker of the Rivers State of Assembly. He also advanced the court to say, please do not recognize these persons as the State House of Assembly members. So ordinarily, it means that the position that was in existence before going to the court was that Okojombo was the Speaker of the Rivers State of Assembly.
Right.
That can be done tomorrow. It's not my business. So, but for now, if you look at it carefully, the mere fact that court of that High Court order had been challenged does not also stop or empower the law or the local government chairman from existing as local government chairman. It does not. It's entirely a different thing.
So you're saying the law is clear, and it's clear as daylight, and although there is an appeal, if there is at all, it does not translate automatically to a stay of execution.
It does not, because by virtue of the pronouncement, if you look at carefully, even the Court of Appeal judgment that came out last week, it does not in any way indicate that what that appeal means. If you now allow it to translate to mean that the extension of local government chairman should continue or have been recognized by mere entering of appeal, what it is that you've given the judgment of the Court of Appeal by mere entering appeal at the Court of Appeal.
Okay, interesting. Now, I do have a commercial, but I'm just going to let you know what the next question is. You know, some have argued, and by the way, lawyers, you know, different lawyers have been on the show. Some have argued caretaker chairman or the caretaker chairmanship is illegal. Some have said, of course, the extension, like you're saying, is illegal as well, just like Justice Q pronounced in court. The question then is, both are illegal if we go by the different arguments. Then what should be the legal way out of the predicament we find ourselves in? Because the elections are not going to come up until the 5th of October. So we are in a conundrum. We are in a situation where we have to choose between the devil and the deep blue sea. Then the question is, what legal option do we have? Let's go for a quick break. When we come back, you know, I will talk some more. Please to stay tuned.
Nigeria Info. We'll be right back.
All right, you're listening to Hard Facts and 92.3 Nigeria Info, 5:27 p.m. In about in less than 3 minutes, we should bring you the headline news. But I want to use the next 3 minutes to remind you that we are looking at the local government situation in Rivers State. And my guest is Chioma Choko, who's a lawyer, a social-political commentator here in Rivers State. And we're looking at all the intricacies, the legal side to the argument. We're looking at the political side to the argument. And we're trying to determine the way forward because local government, even though we say sometimes it is an extension of the governor's office, even if we argue like that sometimes, it does play a very crucial role in the society, in the rural areas, in the local government area. And so things like marriage registry, building permits, a couple of other things like running the market, maintaining some orderliness at the various streets in the local government. They have the constitution is clear on what their roles and functions are as it relates to the grassroots government. However, in the past few weeks, about 4 weeks now, we've seen a situation where there's been the closure of the various secretariats of the local governments in Rivers State. Now, the reason is that we have a CTC versus former local government chairmen who say that there is a law that allows them to extend their time in office. As interesting as it may be, we still have to find a solution because the people may not be enjoying the dividends of democracy or the dividends of good governance as this crisis lingers. Let's go for the headline news. When I come back, my guest and I will talk some more. Do stay tuned.
Headline News, Nigeria Info on
92.3.
Headline News.
All right, the headline news. Governor Fubara replies FCT minister says he's not an ingrate. Victor Okojumbo, lawmaker, screen commissioner nominee. Martin Amewule colleagues demand Governor Fubara present budget to them. Lawyers insist Martin Amewule orders no longer Rivers lawmakers, non-academic staff to protest across university campuses tomorrow. On the foreign scene, Liberian president cuts his salary by 40%. Details in the 6 p.m. bulletin. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808 721 7215. I am Kalada Rubasbor. To stay tuned.
This is Hard Fact.
All right, 29 minutes to the top of the hour. I still have Chioma Choko via the phone. Chioma, it's good to have you. Good afternoon, and thank you for staying. Can you hear me?
Good afternoon, sir. Yes, I can hear you.
All right. So I asked a question just before the commercial, and I said, see, CTC, some have argued, is unconstitutional. Extension, like we have been talking for some minutes now, unconstitutional. So what legal option do we have as it relates to the local government? Because you've also said going to the Court of Appeal does not also mean a stay of execution. So what legal option do we have?
Okay, you see, first of all, I think it's important to understand that part of the issues we have is that some of us have been unable to appreciate truly the stand of the law when it has to do with the tenure of the local government council or chairman, as it were. I've always argued, and my argument will remain consistent till tomorrow. The provision of the law is very clear about that when it has to do with the tenure of the local government. It is statutory. And by virtue of the local government establishment law of Rivers State, the tenure of the local government chairman or council, as it were, is 3 years. And if we look at it very carefully, Section 5 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria vests Sub 2, vest the executive powers of the state on the executive governor of the state, which can either be exercised by himself or through the deputy, as it were, or any other public officer, as the case may be. Now, if we go down to section 7, sub 1, that also empowers the local government to make law, as it were, where it becomes impracticable or impossible for, because what the law says is that there must be a democratically elected local government chairman. But where it becomes impossible, impracticable for an election to be conducted either in a particular council or in all of the state, for instance, the 23 local government councils in Rivers State, the governor of the state, by the mandate of Section 5 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, has the mandate which has been statutorily provided to determine the composition and structure of the local government. The governor of the state has done.
Sorry, Chioma, you said section. I need to, verify what you said. Section 5.
Yes, Section 5, sub 2, gives the governor of the state the executive powers. The executive powers of the state. It is practically vested on the governor of each of the states. Rivers State, Imo, Abia, any other state. It is not peculiar to Rivers State. I am not here to argue that the governor of the state must hijack the powers of the State House of Assembly. No, God forbid. But the point I'm making is that, and I will remain consistent, that the powers of the governor extend to the determination of the structure and the composition of local government, particularly where it becomes impracticable for an election into the local government council to be conducted by research as it were. So what the governor of the state has done, yes, what the governor of the state has done is that because of the political brouhaha in the state, it has obviously become impracticable, visibly become impracticable for an election to be conducted, particularly because of the attempts made by the then 27 House of Assembly or fractional House of Assembly members to elongate the tenure of the then local government chairman. So that created a chaos, an uproar in the state, which ordinarily could not have allowed for a free and fair elections in the local government council. So what the governor has done is to say, for a period of time within which the political brouhaha will have been quelled, this person should man the affairs of the local government.
So
pending when
I want
democratic election. Yes.
I want to ask a question. So if we say section 5, I'm trying to look for it, by the way. I'm looking at my constitution. If we say section 5 subsection 2 permits, can we define impracticable? When you say it is impracticable, what impracticable simply means the inability of a thing which ordinarily would have been done to be done by the persons or those persons or authority that the body of law or the statute has empowered to carry out a particular exercise. For instance, research has been empowered to carry out the conduct of local government elections in Rivers State. But because of this political turmoil in the state, it has become impracticable for research to carry out that election within this period of 2-3 months, which is the reason the election has been shifted to sometime in October 2024. Yes. So you're saying the CTC in some ways legal and is the legal option that we have for now, if I got you right?
The local government cannot exist in vacuum. It is impossible for local government to. There are funds coming into the local government, if not from the state, from the federal government, and those funds have to be manned. They have to be manned by individuals, persons, or collective bodies. So until persons are fixed into those positions, then the resources of the local government will have been chased away by citizens or indigenes of the local government. So what the governor did, I remain, is that the persons that have been appointed to man these activities are just there for a sojourn, for a temporary period, a period which may not even exceed 3 months, for a proper election, the democratically elected members of the local government to take over the local government affairs. And let me say this, sir. It is important to appreciate that there is also a danger in what we are doing in Rivers State.
Okay.
Just like I've listened to you carefully, we losing revenue on daily basis in each of these local governments. Obiabo generates more than, if you look at it, more than 10 million in a month. Eche generates more than 10 million in a month. Ikwere and all of the local government in Rivers State generate the same thing. But because of the closure, and apart from that too, it is important to understand that there are also those who may not directly benefit from the resources of the state or the local government, but who carry on businesses within and around the local government council. But because of the closure of the local government, the businesses of these persons have been frustrated for our selfish benefit or interest. So for me, I think it's important some of us come back to the drawing board to say and understand that the people who are directly affected are Rivers people and not the Asian people. They are not the Chinese people. The people who are directly affected by this wickedness are Rivers people. They are the Aquarius. They are the church and they are the Okidapos. Yes.
All right. So I want to throw a question at you now so that I can open.
Yes,
so
sir.
If you're saying this is the legal channel that we must take, we must do at this point because there cannot be a vacuum in governance or in government. Why is the government, the executive arm of government, not taking this matter to court, to ensure that the police leave, or even the caretaker chairman, taking this matter to court to ensure that the police leave the secretariat? Or better still, should we arrive at a political solution?
Well, I think every political problem has a political solution.
Okay.
But the extent to which this particular matter politically has gotten to is such that, for me, I think it's irreversible. It is either we take a direct shot and then mix, or we take a direct shot and hit at the target point. The truth of the matter remains that it is almost impossible for these caretaker members or chairmen to take the activities or the actions of the police to the court. How many months are they going to stay? How many months are they appointed to live in the council? They are appointed for 3 months, and you cannot get decisions of the court between now and the next 3 months. It is impossible. And let me say that part of the reasons for which these persons carried out this barricade was also development. That judgment is delivered, they were not vacate the premises of the local government. That judgment came out almost not in the favor.
Are we sure the judgment has come out? Because it looks like they are waiting for the other appeal you and I talked about at the beginning of the show. So I think it's the appeal, that you have now said does not translate to a stay of execution that they are waiting for.
No, it is not that of the judgment restraining the state House of Assembly or what is it called? Repelling, cancelling the law made by the state. Annulling the law made by the state House of Assembly. No, the original judgment that these persons were waiting for was the judgment that was delivered last week.
Once again, I'm not certain, because the IGP was clear when he said he was waiting for an appeal as it relates to the extension of the tenure of local government.
So then that means the IGP had taken side, because already there was a court decision, even if it's at that stage it's interlocutory. The IGP should have also given a strict obedience to that order of the court, because it emanated from a court of competent jurisdiction. And until a decision contrary to that comes out, the only decision that must be obeyed and should be obeyed by the police and or any other person, institution or body or person, is that order of the state high court.
Okay. All right then.
Until there is a contrary decision from an appellate court, the order that the police has to obey is the order of the state high court.
Okay. All right. That says that the law is null and void. It's
nullified. Yes.
All right then. All right. Let's open the phone lines. Let's get some people to join our conversation, and let's hear what they're thinking. Let them have a chance to bet their thoughts on the very issue. Local governments have been closed for about a month, and we're wondering what's the way forward. Which way River State? That's the question. I'd like to get your thoughts. I am Kaladako Robatiboto, and he's my guest. All right. Remember, we're live on Facebook, Nigerian for PH. We're active on X as well, and we're live on YouTube, all Nigerian for PH. To the phone line 0817 923 0002, 0817 923 0003, 0817 923 0007, WhatsApp number 0809 030 Let's go to the phone lines. 92.3 Nigeria Info, your name, your location, your contribution.
Hello.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Or good afternoon this afternoon. Let's get your thoughts, please.
Yeah, my name is Stanley.
All right, Stanley, welcome.
Canada, I don't know if you are aware there is judgment today from our Appeal Court on the matter you are discussing.
Oh, really? I'm not aware. You're just informing
me.
There
is a judgment.
I will check then. I will check.
Yes, the Q judgment.
Okay, so until
the local former chairman appeal was thrown away.
Oh, it was thrown. I would have to confirm. I don't know. I would not lie because I will. I mean, I am in the studio, so I do not know what's happening out there, but I will confirm it eventually. 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Hello, good evening, Canada.
Yeah, greetings to you. Welcome.
Yes, my name is Comrade Kowate Magnus, and I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
Mr. Magnus, welcome back once again.
I always say that whatever that is happening in the States is to the detriment of rivers people. Canada was opportunity to cross Rumokoro, just to cross the Rumokoro flyover down to the council secretariat. Ordinarily, if you pass the normal day when the 2 lanes are open, you find it very difficult to cross that place, just from the market to the secretariat. But that place has been blocked. It's just 1 lane that is working, and you need to see traffic. Just to cross from that roundabout to the council secretariat, you will spend not less than 30 to 40 minutes to cross that place.
All right.
Because of the traffic, the market people that are there, the lanes are only one, and the 2 cars coming and going is applying 1 lane. It is problematic. You can't even cross there. All these things are happening at the detriment of rivers people. And it is not good. It is not good to for crying out loud. Rivers people must enjoy the quality governance that is expected from the governor. And that's which he must provide for the people. So I want to apologize to the political graduates in the state that if it's our sin, they should forgive us and drop their sword, because all these things, it is rivers that will suffer, because when 2 big elephants fight, the ground suffers.
All right then. Magnus, thank you. So much, thank you very much. 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Good afternoon, Kalaba.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
Ezekiel, calling from Ugumini.
All right, Ezekiel, welcome.
Kalaba, the whole drama that is happening in River State politically, I think I should shift the blame to the judiciary. They are the people placing this comedy or tragedy in this state. Otherwise, I think this issue should have been settled for long. Imagine 29th of May last year till now, we are still talking about one issue. Talking about the local government blockade, I believe that if there is blockade in that councils or in those councils, then the caretaker committee are comfortable with it, running the affairs. I believe staying there at least is to make the area being conducive for the people living around the area. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Ezekiel. Thank you. 92.3, missed that one. Do call back. 92.3, Nigeria Info. What's your name?
All right, Hawaiian, welcome.
I want to greet the guest. He's my friend.
Okay.
Barrister Choko.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. I want you to answer this question. I don't know. To know whether the tenure elongation stands.
I think he has answered that
not
already.
stand at all, so that we know where they are blocking. What is their reason of blocking? Because their reason, as I assume, I'm not a legal person, said that they are agitating for the tenure elongation being propagated by Martins and Mehule, the House Assembly factional or not, I don't know. Whether that stands or that is illegality on illegality. If it does not stand, why are they blocking the council? What are they looking for? Why are they there?
All right.
Why are they debating? Why are they blocking everywhere?
All right. Thank you.
Answer from a friend.
I think he has answered that, but I'll tell him and he will answer all over again. Thank you very much, Elder Wine there. 92.3 Nigeria Info. Your name, your location, your contribution.
Good evening, Canada. My name is Chioma George Obilo.
All right, welcome. Hello, are you there?
The contribution is what I have to say is that my brother, the truth has to be told. The only advice I will give to the River State governor is for him to go and talk with Wiki. That is when peace can be restored back in River State.
So is wicked the court? Is wicked the God? Is we?
My brother, everybody knows the cause of problems. Everybody knows the cause of the problem.
But my point, whatever the problem is, should it not be the court who will decide as to what is legal and what is illegal?
My brother, waiting for the court is to make the problem to be going more further.
Okay.
I don't know. That's the truth I have to tell you.
All right. That's your truth, but I don't know if the next caller would agree with you. But let's listen to him. 92.3 Nigerian for your name. I greet you right back. Your name, please.
This is Engineer Lumba. I'm calling you from Junction.
All right, Lumba, welcome.
Yeah. What I want to talk about this local government Buhari. I'm not Buhari. We have been here all this year. They're here when I'm able to hand over power. All the way to now. Been handed over local government for 3 years. The people, because they have broken the law of the land, and they start dishing out law they have not seen this reason to dish out this law all these years. The problem we have in this country, like judiciary is like they are supporting illegality. That is our problem.
Right.
Because if judiciary have been doing what they're supposed to do, all these things to see that are all over the place today will not be there.
Right.
Because when people do what they do, think they have finished it, and when they see the court and the person is trapped, another person who will tend to do it will say, oh boy, if they catch me, I'm going to trap like the other man. Because judiciary have let wicked men then to go away, and the illegality will continue.
All right.
This thing that happened now, that these people defected, everybody do here when it happened, and even your radio station carry up. That when they defected,
I talked about it.
They're not supposed to even come back to that house again because they know it and they go and do it.
All right then.
And today they are saying they are not doing it.
All right.
We
would wait for the courts. Lumba, we would wait for the courts, but I've got to go. Back to you, Chioma, Choko. Do you agree that the judiciary is the one escalating the problem in River State? Let's get your thought as a legal professional, please.
How can it be? I won't subscribe to that. It is impossible. It is impossible for anybody to make judiciary. As much as I will agree that yes, we do not have all saints sitting on the bench there, it is also important to understand that the people who take the matters to court are the political class, are the elitist class. These are the people who advance the court, and the court will always, at all times, give their judgment based on the facts that have been presented to them. It is not the duty of the court to source for evidence. It is not the duty of the court to gather materials that will give you judgment. You can have a good case, but you have a bad lawyer. You can have a good case, but you have a bad fact.
Yeah.
So these are issues that all of us must also be able to distill before judging the court. Understandably, there are corrupt people who are sitting on the bench. But that is not to say
I think we have a network issue there. I read some more messages. Can you hear me, Chioma?
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you. Go ahead.
You hear me, sir?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Yes, that is not to rub the judiciary on the mud. It is not true.
Okay.
The judiciary, it's always there to play her role, and they are playing their role the way they also.
Okay. Now, so let's Chioma, I don't know if you can hear me. Chioma, I don't know if you can hear me now. Let's quickly, because my time is almost up. Now, I've just seen what one of the callers said, that the appeal court judgment I was talking about, now the court has given a declaration. I don't know, I've been told not to use a declaration. The court has been given a pronouncement, and in that pronouncement it has struck out the suit seeking the tenure extension for Rivers LG chairman. Now, according to the report, the Port Harcourt Division of the Court of Appeal on Monday dismissed 2 appeals filed by former elected local government chairman in Rivers State loyal to the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, seeking the elongation of their tenure in office. So what does that mean now for Rivers State?
What it means ordinarily is that except and save that decision of the Court of Appeal is appealed to the apex court, which is the Supreme Court. What the police now is expected to do is to surreptitiously leave the environment of the local government council, because there is a superior court order which has come to say the tenure elongation is illegal on the face of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Except the Nigerian police is now playing a different game altogether. If they are not, it is expected that on or before 12 midnight today, all the 23 local government councils should be serene.
Okay. I think we have network issues there.
Hello, I can hear you. I'm so sorry. Allow the local government caretaker committee chairman take over the various councils. But let me also say this, just like one of the callers said, the local government council caretaker chairman are also being lukewarm. They are quiet. They are not doing anything. They are not doing as expected by Rivers people. You can't tell me that I've been appointed as a council chairman, and up to this time, I have not taken over my local government, and then I'm governing from my house. For what sake? It shows that these people are also not in the protecting the interests of Rivers people. They are also there for their selfish reasons.
All right. Let me
they would have taken over.
Let me pause you, Choko. Choko, now, my last question then will be, what is the legal implication of the law? Now that the court has said it is null and void, and the Court of Appeal agrees to that, or has thrown out the suit, will that now be expunged? Should the House of Assembly seat
the Constitution? The Constitution in Section 1 sub 3 says any law that is inconsistent with the provisions of this law shall, to the extent of its inconsistency, be declared null and void, which the court has affirmed to today. So what it means is that law, which was attempted to have been made by the House of Assembly of the 27 fractional House of Assembly members, is today, by the extent of that provision, has been declared null and void and shall be of no effect or moment in the body of law of the Rivers House of Assembly. Yes.
I've got to go, but thank you very much, Choko Chioma, for your time. I do appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Keep listening to 92.3 Nigeria Info. Up next is a commercial break. After the commercial will be time for the major news. Good afternoon.